Hi, this is talking about this brush engine in Manga Studio. Uh, One of the things that's nice about it is that it's pretty consistent across all the tools you can have. Well, here, let me turn these things down. I don't need this to show you. We don't need that, right? You got your main tools, the things you're kind of accustomed to, pencils, things like that, everything. Gradients, fills, very common things you would use. Then when you select these, they go to subtools, right? Nothing surprising here. There's a lot of little subtools here. And then here's the tool properties. Each tool comes down and has its properties. But the nice thing about it is that gives you a lot of flexibility, not just what's popular, what's defaulted here. If you want to, you can come into the full engine area where you control these parameters, and you have a lot more to deal with. Sometimes a lot of things. And the real flexibility comes with deciding which parts of this you want to have shown. Again, you got all of these kind of things, shapes, tips, everything you can do, bringing things in, different kinds of patterns. There's spraying effects. It's really just kind of a particle brushes, doing some things with that. But back up here, brush size. Here's a quick example. You select your subtool here, from the brushes down here to these subtools, then the tool properties show here. But what's nice is all of this is really dependent on what eyeballs are ticked here. Right? The brush size, you see it right here. Come over here. If I don't want that brush size shown, I can turn that off. So I can basically clutter this up as much as I want or as little as I want, depending on what kind of settings I want to have exposed. You got this whole little node here that feeds this thing, and it's all decided right here. Like this ink, the opacity, I wanted the opacity shown. The way this color is going to mix with the layers underneath. Pretty nice here, so I have most of that shown, right? If you don't want it shown, you just have to go find it through here. Let's see, brush shape, maybe I don't need that brush shape, go back to that. The brush shape is really not helping me right now. I've already decided, so I don't want that brush shape. Anti-aliasing, to be honest with you, I've got it set here and it works pretty well. I don't need to do anything else with that, so I really don't need that to be shown. Okay, so you see how this kind of works. It's really nice being able to have this sort of flexibility with what gets exposed. Now this whole node here with all of these bits of information, now we could argue about what should be there, what shouldn't be there, but what's nice is there's a lot of options here, and they're well explained. You can see this moving up. It just kind of gives you an idea what some of these things will be doing. Starting and ending is really nice here in this Manga Studio, how this works. But again, you want them showing, take the eyeball. It'll show up here. It gives you things to experiment with. Maybe you can put a few things out here to begin with and then slowly add things in as you need them. Or the opposite of that, you just have a lot of things here. Then as you slowly realize you don't use them, you can just depopulate many of your brushes, so it's very simplified. Less things to look at sometimes. That's the flexibility I'm thinking of. The actual drawing on the surface of an image, that's going to be very subjective, really. I found it to be pretty nice. It's depending on the brushes I'm using. Let me see, where am I at here? Let me get the right layer. Make sure I'm open. I don't need that anymore. Let's see. Right, there's that layer behind that layer, right? And again, all of this is going to be really subjective. How the paint actually gets on, or actually how the data gets into the pixels, I guess we would say. This is not really paint. But you get the idea. It's not a drawing tutorial. It's really about these brushes. How the brush actually hits the pixel is kind of going to be really subjective, so you got to experiment, find software and brush engines that work for you. But the logic of how some of this is laid out, I think, is really nice. And if somebody's trying to develop something about painting in 3D or 2D, it's a good thing to be looking at here. It's not badly laid out. Pretty nice. Well, anyway, bye.